Welcome to Grapevine. I have a great show today. I am so honored to have this woman, Linetta Davis. She is a playwright. She is a director. She is a producer. She is a performer, actor, here with me today to promote her new play that will be opening this week.
Yes.
What day is that?
May 31st through June 2nd. Yes.
And I'm your host, Wanda Williams. Oh my God, I got so much to do. Me and you are fellow producers.
Yes.
And in this world, sometimes women aren't as welcome as the men are. It can be tough being a woman producer, director. Yeah. All of us are training ourselves and we're becoming awesome producers. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
I am also an educator in the city of Milwaukee. I've been doing that for quite a while. I'm a school administrator. I've been writing since maybe I was 5. That's the story that I like to tell. And I am a single mom. I'm a creative. Like, I just create. If I see an issue or a problem or something to that effect, and it touches my heart, then I oftentimes come up with an idea that maybe would help better the situation. A lot of times it comes out through writing, and sometimes it comes out through conversation. So yeah.
Now, do you have a production company? Of what name do you go on?
Yes, Rebirth Inc.
Rebirthing, I like that. Rebirth.
Yes, thank you. Awesome. Yes, that has been a recurring theme in my life. One of my mentors, when I went back to school to become a teacher, one of my mentors said that it was pretty much hopeless to try to exact change with children. And he said, if you do that, then you would pretty much have to rebirth them, like bring them into your spirit and push them back out again. And I said, okay, then that's what I'm gonna do. So then that was the whole thing about rebirth and rebirthing babies. And then I, that has often been my theme in my poetry as well. And then actually what's really funny, about a year or so ago, I found out that my name, Linette, even though it's Linetta, but Linette is the name of a bird, like a golden wrench, and it's like the bird of resurrection and rebirth. That's crazy, right?
No, that's right. That's awesome. Now your work is kind of deep, and it has a meaning to it. And tell us about some of the plays or some of the work you've done, because it has a lot of meaning to it. It touches people, and you're trying to let people know about the issues that are going on in our community. So you have done other plays, and tell us a little bit about those.
Well, I've written 3 plays, but this is only the second one that's gotten to the stage. The first one is a drama. It is a choreo poem entitled A Black Woman's Burden, Her Journey from Pain to Freedom. The best comment or accolade that I received from that, there was a writer here in Milwaukee that actually compared it to Ntozake Shange's for colored girls. So that's super awesome. Yeah. And so that play was dealing with the brokenness that I experienced, and then the recollection of myself, having been I don't like to say victim, but of childhood sexual abuse. So oftentimes my writing is just that cathartic experience, because I believe that my gift of writing was to help me get over the different challenges that I'm sure to face in life. And so once I write it, then I'm bigger than it. I'm more powerful than it. I can do whatever I want to do with it. And oftentimes I just decide to share it.
Okay, so there's like I said, there's deep meaning with the plays. It's gonna touch you. Now your play that's starting on, was that Thursday you said?
Yes, Thursday, May 31st.
That play, and let's get into a little bit about that play, because that's gonna be okay. And where's it gonna be at, and how long is it, and then we're gonna get into that. So
yes, so the End of Hope runs May 31st through June 2nd at the Next Act Theater on South Water Street, 255 South Water. Tickets are $30. They can be purchased through nextact.org, or you can call the box office to purchase tickets. So that's really great. So this play is a tragedy. I am a lover of Shakespeare. I'm a lover of theater. And I'm also a lover of just kind of stirring things up a little bit.
Okay.
I'm writing this tragedy because I believe in something that I heard Virginia Woolf say, in that sometimes people have to die. Like in literature, characters have to die in order for those of us who are reading to appreciate life. And so that's one of the things that I wanted to do with this piece. It is a piece about domestic violence, but it's also a piece about like what happens when two wounded children grow up and then run into each other and try to start a life. And they love
a relationship or
yeah.
woman.
Yeah, a husband and a wife.
Husband and wife. Okay.
And so both have like some childhood trauma that they have not dealt with. They come together and are intensely in love. But then when you start loving how you were taught to love through brokenness and hurt, then you end up perpetuating a cycle of abuse.
And I want to say that if you've never been to the theater before, it is an experience. And when you see the actors on the stage, you are right with them. It is not like movies. It's you are on
stage. You can't press pause.
No. It's there in front of your face, and it can be a very beautiful and overwhelming experience. Now, you said this was about abuse, correct? This is about abuse and two people, and that's in our community. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that, because sometimes the way you were brought up, and a lot of times, not all the time, you learn from what you see. If you grow up with abuse in your family, and some people may imitate that abuse, some may not. It just depends on how they feel about it. But if you see your mom getting beat on a regular basis, some men do end up being abusers. And I'm not talking about all men, okay?
Yeah.
And also women. Also women can become abusers, because women abuse men. We got some women taking out men's back windows and tearing the car up. Doing all these things. So it's an equal opportunity thing. It's more talked about with women, but men really don't come forward when they are being abused. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I think, I mean, that's a problem that persists in African-American communities. There's been a lot of trauma that's been happening to Black men since slavery. Like, I've discovered stories of rape. Like, we hear about the slave master. I hate to call them that, but we hear about rape happening to Black men who were enslaved, but but we haven't taught them that it's okay to talk about that. And I think that's a problem with our men. Honestly, I see it happening with all manner of men. If you watch television, they're emasculating men, like the men are the stupid ones or what have you. But I was speaking to some of my students who oftentimes kind of get in trouble. And fortunately, I have a good relationship with them where they can come to me and talk to me, and they say, like, as a boy, you don't get to say how you feel.
Right.
And I think that's the problem. And so if you never learn how to do that, then you perpetuate that cycle if you don't learn any better. And also,
I just want to say that there is help. You know, some people are afraid to ask for help. They're embarrassed to ask for help. There are anonymous groups for men and women before the abuse goes too far and you end up incarcerated or, or even dead, because we have I've seen in the news where men have been injured by women, shot, stabbed, and women also go through that too. So there are places that you can go, because abuse is equal opportunity. And I just want to make it clear that all men aren't abusive, just like all women are not abusive.
And I'm glad that you bring that up, because we have to be careful as a community about how we re-victimize people. If I come to you and I say, Wanda, like, me and my man just got into a fight and he knocked me upside my head, and you say to me, well, what you do? Or if you say to me, girl, you got to go now, like, and you, so we have to be careful too about how we approach and how we intervene. I learned very on in high school, like, you can't tell your friend about her man, honey, because you might lose your friend.
Yeah, she gonna get
even
mad
if he's dead wrong. Exactly, even if he's dead wrong. And so we have to tread very lightly, very gingerly when we are talking to people who have experienced abuse, and make sure that we're not putting on them like, oh, well, this is what I would do. No, you wouldn't. You don't know what you would do because it's not the same situation. And so we need to understand that when we do that, we block people out. You stop people. Oh, so then what the lesson that I'm going to walk away with, if I come to you and I tell you something and then you start telling me what I need to do, more than likely what's going to happen is I know that I can't come talk to you anymore.
Right.
And I might really need your help, but I'm not going to come to you.
Right. I worked the abuse line, and there were men that called because they needed somebody to tell. They can't tell their friends.
Right.
And some women can't tell their family or friends because everybody wants everybody to know that they have this great relationship. We love each other. In front of each other, you're we love each other. But behind closed doors, there can be some very negative, dangerous things happening. And then
you also have to make a choice. The day that I tell my friends that my husband is beating on me, I need to be prepared to leave.
Exactly.
Because if they're truly my friends, they're like, no way are you going back over there. So when I say that, then I know I have a choice. I have to make a choice. Okay. So if I didn't tell you what was going on, it was because I wasn't ready to leave.
Right.
So we have to learn how to be supportive in those situations as well.
But, it for some women and for some men, it is embarrassing. It's embarrassing to think the person that supposed to love you, tells you that he loves you, and you have to tell somebody else, well, he beats me on a regular basis. And that person is like, what? I never seen them do that. That's the thing. I've never even raised a voice to you. When is this happening? When is this happening? And then when you start seeing the marks, or I fell down, or I hurt my eye, or whatever, and then we believe it because we would never think that man. That's the nicest man I've ever met in my life. And he turns, he's a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde personality. When you're not around, he's the nice. Oh, can I get you something to drink? Oh, here's some food. You think, oh, you got a good man. But when that door closes and they leave, it can be a whole different scenario.
Right, because who beating up people out in the street anyway in broad daylight? Who doing that?
Yeah, some do. It makes it outside the door.
Right.
In the fight carries on out the door, then the secret is out. So
but it's rare. Like if it's a person and they have something to lose, like they're not out here doing that. And then the other thing is that we really have to be careful about how we name abuse, because what I learned was that you're in a situation and your significant other takes your keys so you can't leave. Or they take your money and you can't pay the bills, and so you stressed out about that. And these women who got brothers who are on parole, and you threaten that, oh, you got to do this, or you got to come home at a certain time, or I'm going to call your PO and get you locked up. Like, that's abuse.
Yes.
Like, we need to talk about that. It's various forms. When we're trying to control somebody, when we're trying to oppress someone, that is a form of abuse. And then if that's you need to figure out, why do I need this much control over this person? Like, what's happening that I have to treat this person in an undignified and almost an inhumane way in order to prove my love?
Or to just feel good about yourself that I got this
exactly
under control. Really is about
exactly
you. About you.
Exactly.
And some women not letting their the men see their children. Well, you can see them if you do A, B, and C, or whatever. Or that's control. Or the man's coming over at 3:00 in the morning. I'm here to see my son.
Trying to see something else too. You trying to see something else at 3 in the morning.
It's all kinds of things going. And we were talking about, I did a show on prison relationships and how men and women in prison control the one that's outside. And I said to myself, when I first heard this, how in the world can somebody control you that's locked up? And they were like, are you kidding? You got to call at a certain time. His family is watching you to see who you with. His family is telling him what you wearing. His family is telling who comes over to your house. And eventually they're going to get out, and they fear a retaliation when they do get out. So that long arm from the prison is still in your life. If you're not home to call him at 5:00 like I told you to while I'm in prison, it ain't going to be a good day.
Right. And Michelle showed us that, and I forget the name of the film, but when the film that she did, her perspective from after the Straight Outta Compton film, her relationship with Suge Knight, she showed that, like, like, okay, yeah, he locked up, but he is still controlling every aspect of my life. And so she showed us that in the film, how that could be, how that's possible.
It's very possible, because at first I was thinking, what? I do anything
Right.
I want. He in jail. He can't do nothing to me.
Exactly.
Okay. But
Exactly.
I've never been in that situation. So I had, my heart went out to them, and to be watched constantly, by family members and friends to see, and they running back and telling him everything you're doing. So
Yeah.
also too. But I want to get back to your play about the relationships. I don't want you to give the play away. I don't want you to give me the ending in that. But the two relationships are strained, and from what you said, Shakespeare tragedies usually don't turn out so good.
No.
They don't. If anybody knows anybody knows
No.
Shakespeare, somebody gonna go. Somebody gonna go. So I kind of get the drift of this. I think it would be a good film. I'm going film. I'm so used to doing film because I do video. I think it would be a good date night experience.
Yeah.
Women getting together and checking this out. So Saturday the show is at 6 o'clock.
Yes, the Saturday show is at 6. The Thursday and Friday shows are at 8.
8 to. It was 8 to 10?
Roughly a little shy of 10, probably, with intermission, a little shy of 10.
Okay. And I also know that your set is very simple, and I love simple sets when it comes to plays, because you are concentrated on the dialogue and the subject matter, when it's a very simple thing. And who came up with that concept? Did you come up with that?
Well, it's a couple things. It's me knowing my strengths. Like, who knows, when this play, if this play goes to Broadway, I may have a set designer, but I doubt it, because it's not really that serious, because it's a lot of words. It's a lot of words. It's a lot of transitions. And I really want the people to listen to the words and experience it. What I don't want, the reason why it's very a minimalist set, is because I don't want somebody looking at the couch that's on there and say, "Oh, they must be poor." So that I'm well to do, so that doesn't have anything to do with me. Or they must have a lot of money, so this must be like a rich people problem. Like, when I feel like you put too much up there, then you create boundaries. So like, my characters, they don't call each other by name. They're just like husband and wife. And then the limited narrators are husband one and wife one. And the child that they share, even though there is an actual child on stage, they just refer to the child as the baby. Okay. Because I don't want any boundaries there.
Okay. So how many characters are in the play, and what are their names?
You mean real life names?
Yeah. Oh, they don't mind.
Okay.
Performers.
So I have, so each scene starts pretty much with a monologue from either the husband one character or the wife one. Husband one is being played by Rob Miller. We just became acquainted through this work, but he is amazing. And then the wife one limited narrator is played by Selena McKnight. She actually was in a previous work of mine. She was in A Black Woman's Burden, her journey to pain from freedom, and she is a phenomenal actor. And it works really well because she knows me. She knows to come in. She knows how to come in. She knows how to work. She knows how to practice to satisfy me. She knows what I'm looking for. And so that is wonderful. And then the scenes where we see that contentious relationship, where we see the hurt acted out, is being played by the husband, Amante Gray, who, again, I just met him through this process. And when he came to auditions, it was amazing. Like, I think if I would have had 100 people lined up, like, once I heard him read, I would have been like, okay, y'all can go home.
Okay.
And then Shantae Peace, this is her debut acting. Yeah. I take chances on people. In her audition, it was something that she did with her eyes, and I was just like, yep, that's who I want.
They say that producers always know. They know when it's that's the one. They can see 100 people, but out of that 100, they know which one.
Yeah, and then too, something else that happens, and I don't want to try to name it because I don't think I'm in control of that, but oftentimes when I do something like this, it's amazing to me how the person that I choose to bring forth that piece fits perfectly with that character. Not every single detail, but there is something in there that connects the two, which is super important, because if the actor is going to bring the character to life, the actor has to put his heart into the character.
Okay.
And so that's where that connection is super important.
Now
So yeah, I have some awesome people, and I'm super, super excited.
Now you directed it, correct? You directed the play,
right? Direct, produce.
The writing, the script writing. Is that correct?
Yes.
So was it hard being a director and you wrote it? And you know, there's always changing of scripts and things like that of that nature. And you probably made that decision. Was that a hard task? I'm the director and I wrote it too, or was it easy?
No, because I give myself that allowance. That's the wonderful part about, like, I'll write something and in my spirit, I feel like, okay, I'm done. But when I get the actors and they're moving about, not to diminish them in any way, but it's sort of like when I used to play with my Black Barbie and my Michael Jackson doll, like I'm telling them what to say and what to do. And then I'm like, oh yeah, this will be dope if this happens. So when they act it out, then I can see the holes in the script that I wouldn't have seen when I read it, or when the editor, somebody who I had to read it and give me feedback. But I can see very clearly where the holes are. And because I'm the writer and the director, I take the license to fill those holes up.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. Yeah. That's really great to be able to have that much control over your work. And it looks like you had 1,000% control over your work. So nervous on opening?
Oh God, my stomach is turning flips constantly.
Second play. Come on.
I know, but it's been a while, and it is it's not really that. It's just that I'm a Virgo. I'm super hard on myself. I wanted to be I wanted to perfection. Exactly. I wanted to be perfect. I don't want any stumbles, and we got a couple little stumbles here, and so I'm losing sleep about that. I woke up with a neck spasm at 3:00 in the morning. No. It's bad. So I'm excited about opening night, and I'm excited also for Saturday night when it's done, so I could probably get a full night of sleep.
Oh, you will, and then you know what? I want to come Saturday. Tonight, because that's kind of close to I like matinees, to be honest, but that's 6 o'clock, so we'll be out by 8 probably. I love to support artists, but come on, I'm a woman. I'm a support a woman. I'm sorry.
Oh, good.
I got to. I don't care, a woman, whatever. If a woman is doing something positive, and a man, you know, I'm all for it 1,000%. So I am so happy, proud.
Oh, thank you.
Of you, and it's not easy sticking your neck out there and doing your own production. Okay,
that's why my neck is hurting.
There you go. I didn't need to bring that together like that, but it's not easy sticking your neck out and putting your work out there, and then people, and I'm sure there's going to be some critics. There's always critics.
Yeah, I welcome it.
It's okay. I want you to tell me the name of the play again.
Yes.
The dates and the time. And where to get the tickets and that, and then we're gonna wrap it up, because I know you got to go back to rehearsal.
Yes.
I know you don't need to perfect it, but hey, you know.
I'm gonna try. So the play is The End of Hope. It runs at the Next Act Theater, South 255 South Water Street. The play runs from May 31st through June 2nd. The Thursday and Friday shows, May 31st through June 1st, are at 8 p.m. The Saturday, June 2nd show is at 6 p.m. You can purchase your tickets through the box office on the website at www.nextact.org.
Okay. And if there's one word, and this is tough, I'm just throwing this out at you because I like to kind of give my people.
Okay.
One word that could describe your your work, this play, your production, your baby. We can be here all day describing what this is in your play. Give me one word to describe it. I know you're gonna think hard, but I'm talking to give you some time to think.
Okay.
One word to describe this play.
I want to say cathartic.
I like it.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. I like that. Okay.
Because I think it has an opportunity to heal in so many different ways. It has healed me by just going through this process and sitting there just looking at it come to light. It is touching my actors, and I'm definitely sure it's going to touch and heal somebody in the audience.
Oh, that's wonderful. Okay. I want to say thank you, Linetta Davis. We will be hearing your name. Next time I'll be talking to you, probably in New York.
Oh, yes, honey.
You know, I reach all over the place. It'll be New York and your other play. Then I'm a fly out. I'm a fly out and come to your play. I want to say congratulations. I love what you
Thank you.
I am so proud to be a woman. You make me a woman. You be Thank you so much again. This is Wanda Williams on Grapevine. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much. Much love. Bye, hon.